All right, folks, this is the second in a series of 3 videos I'm creating on how to do the Stellarium homeworks. Now, Stellarium is actually a couple items here, and that's what this set of charts is for. We're going to discuss what is Stellarium, where do you get it, and how do you do the homework. In particular, I'm going to demonstrate in the third video how to do Stellarium 0. So, let's get to the next page. So what is Stellarium? Stellarium is basically 2 things. It's the homework assignments that I've assigned for you, and it's also a planetarium software that you can put onto your computer. Now, this is a pretty important concept I want to get across. What is a planetarium? A planetarium is a method that folks use either through a projector or a piece of software that allows you to look at the night sky. We are very disconnected when it comes to nature, and this should become very obvious to you if you look at the night sky. There are about 6,000 stars out there that are visible to the naked eye. That is, if you could see them through the light pollution that a big city puts out. Here in Los Angeles, we're lucky to see maybe half a dozen stars. Another way you can test this idea is if you ask somebody what the Milky Way is. If they are of my father's age, 90-something years old, or my grandfather, who has passed many years ago, you would get a different answer than from me. I would say it's a galaxy that we live in. They would say that it is a diffuse band of light in the night sky. And in fact, only a couple of years ago did I ever see the Milky Way in reference to what they saw. It's a diffuse band of light in the night sky. We cannot see that. And in fact, if you go out to Joshua Tree, it's barely visible over the light pollution that Palm Springs puts out. It's very disconcerting. We are very disconnected with nature. And so that's why I have the third bullet point there. These assignments will give you a flavor of taking astronomical observations, collecting data, and doing analysis on the data in a way that the ancients did. Now, when I'm referring to ancients, I'm not talking about the Greeks running around in Troy and things like that. I'm talking about the Renaissance. Galileo, what he observed, what Brahe observed, and what Kepler analyzed from that. The discovery that we orbit the sun rather than the sun orbiting us. So, where do you get this program? Where do you get the homeworks? That is the next step in our discussion here. And so we're going to first take a look at etudes, and then we'll go to the Stellarium website. So again, first we're going to go to etudes, which you should be experts in how to get there by now. And then the second thing is that we're going to go to the stellarium.org website. Okay, so let's go there. So what's popping up now is the etudes website. You can see that I'm logged in here, and you can see the website itself is located here at myetudes.org/portal, and you can also see on my splash page a number of courses that I am teaching here. I'm going to look at this one here. All my astronomy classes utilize Stellarium in one aspect or another. This is Astronomy 20, and the etudes is going to be located in 2 different locations. One is associated with assignments, and the other one is associated with modules. The Stellarium homeworks are in the assignments. The actual programs, the Stellarium programs, reside in modules, along with some user guides and handbooks. But we're going to take a look at that in a little bit later. Let's first take a look at the assignments. Now what pops up for me is the author page, if you will. And what we'll do now is I'll turn this on to a view that is more similar to what you would see. Now, this is what you would normally see, and I would hit Stellarium 0. And let's take a look at the instructions associated with Stellarium 0. You print out the file. You print out the file, and you collaborate in groups of 2 through 4. You can do this on your own. Those of you that are in my face-to-face classes, I prefer that we save trees. Those of you that are not in my face-to-face classes, you may desire to work in groups or by yourself. If you're working online, then the proof of the doing of the assignment will be a video or a picture of your picture of your answers. Okay, so in every case, you're going to be providing your own conclusion. Okay, so we would go from the instructions and we'd continue to the next page, which is to print out this file. And then again, it mentions the desire to save trees by the implication here to work in groups. Okay, so click on this PDF file and you'll notice a window popping up. And I have set it to open up and using Adobe Acrobat. And this is what it looks like. So it first off, most of the homework assignments start off with an introduction. Again, the program is free. And then the first part is to direct you towards the stellarium.org website and to download the latest version of the program. If that causes you a problem, in that you can't get the latest program to download or the latest program to operate on your computer, then I have on the eTudes website earlier versions of the program that you can download. And as a final item to note, on the library and the computer lab computers, we have Stellarium operating. So you can utilize those computers to do the homework assignments. All right, the next part of this Stellarium 0 Part B goes through and gives you some basic understandings of various commands that you can give Stellarium to do various operations. And so that will be part and parcel of the third video in this series. Okay, so let's get out of this program, get out of Adobe Acrobat and go back to eTudes. Okay, so this was assignments, tests, and surveys. Let's go to the module section. And what we'll observe there, again, is what it looks like to the author, namely me. And this is what it will look like to you. Here we're looking at, I'm concentrating on Chapter 00B, associated with Stellarium. If you're in other classes, it may or may not appear like that. But you would be looking for these 5 items. And this module will be named Stellarium something. But there will be these 5 submodules, and they have the same name: Stellarium for PC, Issues, Handbook, User Guide, and the Stellarium for Mac. The Stellarium for PC and the Stellarium for Mac, both are older versions of the program. I'm trying to show you the older version of the Mac program. And what you'll notice here is Stellarium 0.12.2.dmg. The DMG file is something you would double click or open it up, and you would execute this file and it would create the Stellarium application for you. If we go back, we could take a look at the Stellarium for PC. It would do the same thing for Windows users. Now, the output of this should be a file that looks like, it'll create an icon, and here I'm sliding down to these icons. This icon here is the Stellarium icon. It's got a crescent moon and has the constellation Orion there. All right, the other 3 files user guide, handbook, and issues. Those should be self-explanatory. The issues file is one that I've been keeping since I've been utilizing Stellarium. These are issues that students like you have had, mostly having to do with the video, cards, but the primary source of dealing with issues with Stellarium hardware and software, hardware talking about your computer hardware, software, the Stellarium software, is to contact the people at stellarium.org and to look at their issues files there. They're very good at communicating with people and trying to get this program to operate. Okay, so we have taken a look at various things on the internet. The thing I want to do now, or various things on etudes rather, now I want to go over to the Stellarium website. Let's see, I actually want to go there in a particularly different way, going back from the PowerPoint. So this is where I'm going, and here this is the internet page that you should see. I'm using Firefox, and so those of you using Firefox should be familiar with this, what this looks like. And this is the stellarium.org website page. There are a variety of different programs you can download here. The ones that we're going to concentrate on, the OS X for Mac, and then the Windows. I sometimes get questions about which Windows to download. I would suggest using the Windows 64-bit as opposed to the 32-bit. This has to do with PCs that were built older, around the 2000 time frame. Those would be utilizing the 32-bit. 64-bit should work for most anybody who has a computer that's been purchased in the last few years. Again, if it doesn't work, then use the 32-bit or utilize the program that I have saved for you on etudes. So this is what the splash page at stellarium.org looks like. You can cycle down and see what else is available. This is for collaboration. You can see news and wiki and FAQs. Talk about various other things here as well that you can peruse at your own leisure or desire. And this here is other versions or earlier releases of the program. So let's go back up and download the OS X version as an example. So click on it. It should take us to a new website, and it takes a little while to do this. Here we go. Here is the website, and it's going to start the download, as it says, in a couple of seconds. Don't click on anything else out here. These are ads which are making the downloading available to you free. But if you click on over here, you're going to be sent to another website someplace else, associated, for example, with Health IQ. I don't know what's there. But anyway, what you should be looking for is a page or a pop-up that's going to look like this. Different for PCs naturally, but it's basically going to ask you the same information. Basically, do you want to download this file? And naturally, the answer for us is yes in this case. So we download it, and what you'll see is, I guess it downloaded it already. You'll be looking at something that looks like this. If I now go over to my Finder, I would see, oh God, that it did download already. So files that get downloaded from the internet are located in this this download page on my computer. And you can see I already have a second version here, plus the earlier version of Stellarium 0.15.dmg. Alright, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. We've taken a look at the homework files, where to get them. We've taken a view at the etudes website, what is available there. And we've also taken a look at the Stellarium program and taken a look at stellarium.org and downloaded the program for you to look at. Let me remind you that Stellarium is operational. The program, the application, is operational on computers at the library and at the computer lab in room MS 203 in the Math and Science building. So how do you do the homework? Well, you print out the homework PDF file, which is on etudes. You get your collaboration group together. If it's just you doing it, then you operate on doing it yourself. You run the Stellarium program, then you answer the questions as you go through the instructions on those several pages in the Stellarium homework PDF file. Okay, finally, if there is something that you can't do, that the instructions could be wrong or the program isn't operating in a way that you would expect, two things. One is press buttons and see if that works. If that doesn't work, then write out a detailed diary of your actions. I say detailed so that basically I can figure out what you're doing and compare my notes to your notes. Between the two of us, we ought to figure out what's going on. If you tell me that I am confused about Stellarium 05 homework and I can't do it because it's confusing, that doesn't do either one of us any good, because I have done all the Stellarium homeworks and I followed the instructions and it works for me. What works for me may not work for you, but that's just my mind headset. So if you write a detailed diary of your actions, then I can figure out where you went wrong or where I went wrong in my communication of my desires to you. Okay, that being said, I think the next step is to do the demo of Stellarium 0.